In this video, I'll show you how you can easily multiply negative and positive numbers, right? Important thing to remember is when multiplying a positive number by a positive number, the answer you'll get is a positive number. When multiplying a positive number by a negative number, the answer you'll get will be a negative number. When multiplying a negative number by a positive number, the answer you'll get again will be a negative number. And when multiplying two negative numbers, the answer you get will be a positive number. Okay, now I'll write this out again using the plus and minus signs, right? So when you have a positive, that's plus, multiplied by a positive number, that will give you a positive answer. When you have a positive number, multiply that by a negative number, your answer will be a negative number. And when you multiplying a negative number by a positive number, the answer again will be a negative number. And when you have two negative numbers multiplied together, they form a positive number. Let's try and do some examples to understand better. So let's say we had 3 multiplied by 2. These numbers are both positive, so you multiply them to get 6. But what happens when I make one of them negative? So we have a positive number, positive 3 multiplied by negative 2. Because we have one negative number, the answer will be a negative. So all we need to do is multiply the two numbers. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Now let's say instead of that we had negative 3 this time, multiplied by 2, right? So we have negative 3 multiplied by 2. Again we have one negative number, so the answer will be a negative. We multiply 3 by 2 to give us 6. Again the answer is negative 6. Now say both the numbers were negative, so negative 3 multiplied by negative 2. This time we have two negatives, that makes a positive, right? You don't have to write positive, but just for this example I'll write it out, right? So two negative numbers or two negative signs make a positive sign, and then we'll multiply 3 and 2 to give us 6. So the answer is plus 6, or you can just write 6. That means it's positive 6. Let's try more examples. This time let's use three numbers. So let's say we had negative 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. Okay, so in this case we have one negative number and two positive numbers. Let's equate negative 2 times negative 3 first. So negative 2 multiplied by 3 gives us negative 6. Because we have one negative number, we bring down the 2. So negative 6 multiplied by positive 2, we have one negative number, so the answer will definitely be a negative, and 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, now let's say we had two negatives, right? So negative 2 multiplied by negative 3 multiplied by positive 2. What happens here? Let's multiply negative 2 and negative 3 first, right? So negative 2 multiplied by negative 3, we have two negatives giving us a positive, and 2 multiplied by 3 gives us 6. So the answer is positive 6. We'll bring down the 2, so multiplied by a positive 2, 6 times 2 is 12. So you'll notice the difference in the answers, right? The first answer was negative 12, the second one is positive 12. Why is that? Because of the negative sign. As I mentioned earlier, there is one negative sign there, whereas in the second equation there is two negative signs. So the two negative signs make a positive. Okay, and that's how you multiply negative and positive numbers. Okay, let's try another example. Okay, this time negative 5 multiplied by negative 2. Very simple, right? Because we have two negative signs, that means the answer will be a positive. It makes a positive. The two negative signs forms a positive, and then we go on and multiply 5 and 2 to give us 10. So the answer is positive 10. And I'll remove one of the negative signs, see what happens, right? So negative 5 multiplied by 2. This time we only have one negative sign. So this negative sign carries to the answer, because negative and positive gives us a negative. And we'll do 5 multiplied by 2, which is 10. So the answer this time changes to negative 10. If I make 5 the positive number and make 2 the negative number, again same thing, right? We have one positive and one negative number. That means the answer will have negative. 5 multiplied by 2 gives us 10, so the answer is negative 10. Okay, now if both were negative, which I've shown earlier here, okay, that forms a positive sign. If there's one negative sign, that means the answer will have a negative sign. And again, the last equation here, same thing, even though we have changed the negative sign, moved it from 5 to 2, the answer still is negative 10, right? So it doesn't matter where the negative sign was, as long as there was one negative sign, the answer still has a negative sign, right? Whereas if both the numbers have negative signs, negative negative becomes a positive, right? So that's how you can multiply negative and positive numbers. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video does help you.